is a reminder of a story that is an allegory. Let's see what it evokes for us as we endeavor to solve, reconcile what is being said to be the final paradox before we arrive at what is called by various names as enlightenment or God realization. But in my parlance is called a state of absence of illusion. It's that story about the widow left destitute with 7 children, the eldest of whom was a boy called Aaron, a mere 10 years old. But Aaron took his position as the eldest male in the family very seriously. So every day he would go to the marketplace to help the stallholders, the merchants, sweeping up the detritus, sorting out their wares, carrying water, messengers, and so forth, to put bread on the table for his family. But Aaron was a young being of great faith, and at the end of each week, when it came to the eve of the Sabbath day, Aaron ensured that there was bread, there were candles, and there was wine to celebrate the advent of the coming of the Sabbath day. Now it so happened that one day when Aaron was in the village going about his chores, a messenger came into town seeking a family, stating the family name. And when Aaron heard this, he stated clearly, well, this is my family. So he took the messenger back to his house, and the messenger handed to his mother a letter which advised that their late father and husband's brother had died in a far distant place and left to them a substantial legacy. Now, at first there was celebration, but then, of course, the mother said, "But how can I go and claim this legacy? I have 7 children to take care of. I cannot leave them and go to claim what is said to be bequeathed to us." But Aaron stepped forward and he said, "I will go. I will go and claim our heritage." But the mother said, "You're so young. How can you make this great journey across the great desert to go to this far distant place?" But Aaron insisted and insisted that he would do so. So the mother conceded, and she went to a camelteer that took the camels and the caravans across the vast desert and bargained with him to take her son across this expanse to the place where he could claim what was left to them. But Aaron insisted that his mother obtain from the camelteer the assurance that when it came to the eve of the Sabbath day, that the caravan would stop and allow the rituals to be undertaken. And the camelteer bargained with the mother until she came to that moment, knowing that her son would not back away from this request, sold the last her wedding ring, to enable a bargain to be made with the camoteer that he would stop on the eve of the Sabbath and allow the rituals to be undertaken. So Aaron set out with the caravan, and the days passed, and the eve of the Sabbath day arrived, and Aaron said to the camoteer, "Now we will stop and allow the ritual to take place." But the camoteer said, "I know nothing about this. I did not make any bargains. I'm not stopping. We have to arrive at our destination. We cannot stop." But Aaron was adamant, and he said, "In that case, you will leave me here so that I can undertake the rituals that are required to welcome in the Sabbath day." So he was left in that place, and with a heavy, heavy heart, he watched the caravan leave and recede into the distance, the sand of that vast desert. But taking out the accoutrements that were required, the bread, the candles, and the wine, he set about setting up the little altar, we might say, that was there to undertake these rituals. But as he was doing so, he looked up, and in the distance he saw the sand swirling, indicating that something was approaching. And as the sand swirling came nearer and nearer, Aaron saw that it was a great, fierce lion. He shook in his shoes, thinking that this lion was coming to consume him, that his death was nigh. But the lion approached, and to Aaron's great surprise, the lion sat just near the place when the accoutrements of the ritual had been laid out, lying peacefully, benignly, allowing Aaron to complete that beautiful ritual that has been going on for so many, many decades and years to welcome in the Sabbath day. After the ritual was over, Aaron felt the great presence of the lion, and he felt safe. So he lay down and slept peacefully for that night before the morning when the Sabbath was welcomed. But on that morning, the lion indicated to Aaron to climb on its back. And this he did, and the lion bounded off across the desert, and before very long had caught up with the caravan. Now, those who were in this caravan, the merchants, the traders, the camoteer himself, were greatly shocked and awed by this vision, this young boy riding the back of this huge, fierce creature. And of course the camoteer was repentant and contrite as Aaron and the great creature joined the caravan which continued its journey to that land in which Aaron would meet up with his heritage. And so when they arrived at the great city, people scattered in all directions as Aaron, riding this great animal, went down the streets to the place, the house, where he was to receive his benefaction. And so the great lion sat outside while Aaron went in and came out with the wealth that was to take care of his family, climbing on the back of the great beast again. It bound over the sands in what seemed just almost an instant, until Aaron found himself on the very outskirts of his own town. Now, as they came to the boundaries of that town, the great lion indicated to Aaron that he should climb down from his back. And when he did, the lion seemed to eyeball Aaron, and Aaron to eyeball the lion, before the lion turned and bounded off back across that vast expanse of desert to recede in the distance. And Aaron, standing there, had a great realization. And then he turned and strode down the street that led him to his family home and the great reunion that took place there. So the question that arises, in this place where we now seek to experience, not to reconcile in our mind, but to experience what happens when this last paradox before liberation takes place. What is the realization that Aaron had, and what is it that the lion represents for us? What is it that we're solving? What is it that we're reconciling? Not stillness and movement, or emptiness and fullness. What does this great lion represent for us? What was the realization that Aaron had as he watched this great, great symbol recede into the distance, disappearing? The lion. The realization of that which has been there all along, unchanging, manifest for us in different forms, the longing to be accepted, the longing to know who we are, the longing for realization. And now, paradox to be resolved. Line. Realization.